It's the final trading day of the first half of 2019, and it was a mixed bag for global markets in today's session. Seema Mody is here with a recap of the winners and losers of the past 6 months. Europe and Asia both doing pretty well.
Pretty well, right? I mean, what's interesting is that U.S. equities for a long time have been outperforming stocks overseas, but now you have China up 19% so far this year, outperforming the S&P, which is up about 17% here in 2019. Europe has done well. What's taking place is this central bank easing theme. It's not just the Fed, but the People's Bank of China, the European Central Bank. They're all playing a role in driving stocks higher overseas. And it's really not a rally that is driven by earnings growth, because the S&P 500, by the way, the second quarter earnings estimate is 0.3%.
Right.
And it's not any better in China or Europe.
So it's fascinating that China is one of the better performers because of the backdrop for these trade talks. And everyone says, look, the economy there is weak and they don't have a lot of... Well, but the stock market's doing well. How much of this is because we've talked a lot about their easing measures and maybe people expect more is to come? Is it a sign of weakness rather than strength, in a way?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And I think that's why we'll have to see what happens in the second half of this year. Does China actually stick to their guns and release more or unveil more stimulus options that could help the stock market continue to outperform? Because on the trade front, we're still expecting more details over the weekend at G20. If you pivot just in other parts of the world, Kelly, you'll see that Russia, one of the other outperformers, now up about 30% so far this year. And it's interesting, that seems to be a story that's more based on politics. While the U.S.-Russia relationship hasn't gotten better, you could argue that it hasn't gotten worse. In fact, in January, the U.S. Treasury Department lifted sanctions on a number of Russian companies. And so the concern back in 2018 was that a challenged U.S.-Russia relationship would hurt Russia's growth prospects going forward. But things haven't gotten worse, and that stock market is outperforming. And oil is helping the story there, too.
Oh, that's a great point. I was just going to ask you, I mean, the ruble, has it been weaker? Or...
No, it's been stronger.
Wow,
so that's
even more impressive.
There. Yes.
Wow.
We'll have to see if that continues, though, with the dollar in focus, of course.